Yeah, Nancy. Like you tried couple of things in the previous sessions, right? So you said you stuck up with something, or your syntax error, or your program
Yeah.
is not able to run due to some issues. So is that solved by any chance, or you want me to? I mean, you want to share the screen and try to fix that?
Uh, I'm using other system. Eclipse is installed in other system. If any by chance you have a team viewer, you have a
Okay.
team viewer. You can
No. I was just trying to download that. My connection was pretty slow yesterday, so I couldn't do that.
okay, that's
No.
fine.
What's the problem? Like, is that the program is fixed? Like, we're able to run the program?
Yeah, that program I was able to run, but
Okay.
for list, there is a problem with list only, you
Okay.
know. And on a
Okay.
list, there is a some red line is coming. That when I click on
Uh-huh.
list, it's saying it can't be something argument with the like a web element. But so I
Uh-huh.
just tried to delete that, but it was not running. So when I click it, then it says java.int dot something, then the same program automatically come, then it run that time.
I think it looks like there could be some error because see, this is what I am we are using here, right? So this is what you tried. Basically, like list web element options, drop down list dot find element, the tag name options or something like this. It should be like this
Yeah. It
in
was
general.
same. Yeah, it was same. So I was just opening that Eclipse. Uh, I'm
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to open that Eclipse so that I can ping you that one. It was like
Okay.
that all program is same, okay, but
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
before this list, only this list was not correct, okay. So before this
Mm-hmm.
list, it's saying when I click on on a list, it's saying me just
Mm-hmm.
add to something, not add. It was saying that change something Java dot in dot three words were
Mm-hmm.
coming. When I click on that before the list, it
Mm-hmm.
came,
Mm-hmm.
then it run. Then it was it was running fine yesterday.
Running fine, is it? Okay. I think
Mhm.
yeah, somewhere something is missing out. Probably, we'll try with TeamViewer somewhere. So we'll try to share the screen and we'll do that.
Okay,
Okay.
that's fine.
Okay.
Hmm.
Now altogether, you are in a system, new system. Is it? I mean, you're trying to.
Hello.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Fine. So I can start. Is it? I mean, I have some couple of topics to discuss in the same manner. So we'll try to do that. I have a scenario wherein like you might have seen these kind of controls like multi selections.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say multi selection like user can select one or more options at a time. Like let's say January, I can go click here and say August, September. So no
Mm-hmm.
multiple selections. So this we already know. This is a drop-down list already we covered in the previous session. Now there could be another case where this is a control. Let's say there is a form and you're trying to fill that form and it says, can you select a multiple selection based on this and data. So
Mm-hmm.
how do you automate these kind of scenarios? So how do you automate this? It has to select multiple things. So how do you automate this? So that we'll try to see that. So this is again the same way what we tried in the previous session using the select class. You remember there was a select class.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
If you want, I can show it once again in the document. Okay. So
Just this time, just ping me the whole program so that I will try to run myself, but I will just look because
no,
first
I
I
need a link actually. I think in the last session I told I just forgot. I need a link where I can post. I mean, all the programs. Not only this, I can post it everything. Jar, all the sample programs I can just publish there. I need one portal. You remember we used to in the first session we used something to post the
yeah.
comments or whatever. I somehow missed that link. I'm not getting that. If you can
Okay,
figure it out and can send me offline,
yeah,
probably I'll do that immediately. It's not an issue.
I just send it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
I just
So using a okay, fine. So using
Anthony.
select class, how does you sent is it?
Yeah. Anthony sent earlier, so I did it.
Okay, not a problem. Yeah, you can forward the mail to me, or you can just ping me.
Okay.
So using select class, we can use the same concept actually. So when I say select class, already we know for a given select class, I already covered in the previous session. You can either do it by a visible text. You remember visible text, or by index, or by a value. Yes. The same concept. We are going to run that now. So how do you do a multiple select? Just I'm going to run this. Okay, this you know already. WebDriver drive is called new Firefox, and this is the URL open writing. So this one site is there where I have this same kind of scenario. Okay. And the first step would be always try to analyze, try to see the locators, basically what kind of locator it has, how it is built. Try to see the view source and or with the get a XPath or whatever. So that's the very basic steps we generally do. And when you look at this code, right? So this is under a select, and this is ID multi-selection or something. So you can see these options here, right? So January, February, March, April. So these are sitting in an option. What is an option? Option is nothing but a tag. So select is the overall component, the one block. Inside that I have options. Option, not options. It's option. So once you know this logic.
ID.
Oh, what was that? ID?
It was showing the option ID. But
yes.
in that
Option. Okay, let me. I just say as usual inspect element with fiber and ID. So when I say ID, that's nothing but this one tag. Option is a tag. ID is a parameter. I can value is nothing but another parameter, and the original value what you see in a UI should be same like this here, January, and is January. So we are least bothered about these options. If you want, you can do the option or with a value. I told clearly in the session like you can say find elements by tag name option. You want to list let's say you want to list all the things and you want to verify whether the months are displayed properly in a proper order or not, like January, February, March until December. So if you want to do that, I can say find element by tag name option. You remember the syntax? I think you're trying in the previous session, right? So what happens? It will try to print the size, then put a for loop, go inside the for loop and say get text. Automatically it will display on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, the concept is same again. There is no difference, but only difference in terms of coding is same, but the UI, what UI you see the component wise, right? It's quite different. That's it. But the logic behind is same. But what I am trying to do is I'm not going to. I'm least bothered about to getting a text. Already we know this. I don't want to repeat that. But I just want to click on a multiple, selection. Like how to click on this May, July, October, December, something like this. I want to do that. I want to click on that. So for that, what we do, it will be same like using a select class. I'll give the XPath of the select. And be careful here, right? Whenever you want to select any of the things, like you want to import, so please check it thoroughly. Generally, it will be like open org.open QA Selenium support UI something like this. Yeah. So why it is giving because select. What was that?
So we need to import always from opening like Selenium.support also, or there are three
Yes,
options?
generally no, only Selenium, because the reason why you are getting three different kinds of import is this select class is there, the select API is there, right? It is used across a different package. The same name is used by different package, so it got confused. So it's giving us an option. It's giving us an option. You select what you want. So we know that we're working on Selenium. I know very well it should be from always starts with org open QA Selenium support UI. You need to select this one. Suppose you select Jetty or generic or whatever, you cannot automate the things. That is for a different purpose. Even I never tried to forget about this. So make sure that you select the Selenium part.
Yeah, or
Okay.
here, always select saying create a class or create a pack, something like that. When we click, always like in 26 selection, create a class or something like this also always comes also, these options.
Yes, yes, these options will come up. But maybe that while practicing, right, we'll get used to that because the first time users, right, generally they feel very, very difficult. When I see the Eclipse, there are a lot of controls there, and they get confused actually. So how to really code it. But if you start practicing at least some sample Java programs on Selenium, it will easily come up. The speed will come up. That's the only
Yeah,
thing you need
that's
to
why
be
I
more
just want to
yeah,
more
correct. Yeah, more
practice.
comfort on that. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So all what I do is I get an export of multi selections. So it gave me some export. I'll put it into my code devel.find element, and this code is same again multiple. You know, oh sorry, I need to get the options. Right? See now tell me what it does. When I say select by index 2, what it will do?
Index.
Yes, select by index 2.
Index 2. It will
Yes,
display the
index
second value on
0,
start
1,
with
2. 0,
March
1, 2.
0. Sorry.
Yeah, it will click on March. It will click on March.
Okay.
Yes, it will click on March. Now, if you say select by value, what is the value here? If you say Feb, right, or APR, if you say APR, then it will click on
Yeah,
APR.
it will be APR. Yeah. This one the same
Yeah.
you just
Oh,
created.
correct.
The
Last
validation.
session, what we covered, everything is same. So there is no much magic over here. So the using a powerful API, right? I mean, there's a lot of APIs we have in Selenium. So using the select API, we can easily select a drop down, either a multiple list. Everything I can do that. So another method we have something like deselect all. What is it? Deselect all. Let's say once you log in and to the screen, it is selecting something. I want to deselect and select all. Think like that. How do you deselect this? I can't click 4 or 5 times. Correct, right? Suppose everything is got selected. How can you deselect? See, I can't deselect one by one, right? So for that, deselect all is a method inside the select class. So when I say multiple dot deselect all, automatically what happens if it is already selected, it will just uncheck. It's kind of a check and uncheck. That's it. For a given checkbox, we tried in first session, right? To whether to check whether it's really selected or not. The same method. The same method.
Okay. Why we need
Yeah.
this?
When I say
Okay.
where we need this.
Okay, we
Correct,
need
right?
to.
That's what you were asking.
Mm-hmm.
No, your question was where we need.
Why we need it, okay, deselect, okay, okay, and we need to click one by one. Okay, that's why we need it
Yeah.
to deselect
Let's
also.
say you are filling a form and it says what are your interests. So what are the hobbies or something. So it has some pre-filled data. So your use
Yes.
case has something like a manual test case. No, I just pass the data as March, July, and no, October, something like this. So if you want to select these kind of things, right? So you can easily automate. That's what I'm saying. You can easily automate using the select APIs. So what we're trying to do in each session is, in each session or each program is totally different UI component we're trying to analyze. Because I
Yeah.
don't know your product, what product you are going to automate. I'm not going to automate your product, correct? I don't know anything about this. But in real world, in typical web application, if you take, right, so it will be look more or less common only. Like all the web application have a buttons, a checkbox, or a link, or a radio button, or a drag drop components. We'll cover that later. So, or it could be select a multiple selection, or the image, the links. So these are very common things, across the web application. If you take any web application, it's very common. Okay, so in each session or in each program, right? We are going to study this and we're going to, how we can code it basically, how we can write a script for this. So wherein when necessary for you, right? Suppose you're automating any kind of application, you can pick this logic. Oh, this I know, this I already covered in the session. I know how to do a multi-select. Just take the logic. Already program is there. Take a logic and try to, uh, write the automation script. Suppose there is a drop down. Oh, I know how to interact with the drop down. I know in different ways, like select by index, by value, by visible text or whatever. I already this. Take a code, copy paste it, and change according to your needs. So that's what we are trying to cover in each session.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine. So this is what this is very simple example. I just want to cover for a multiple selection. So there is, if you see the previous example and this example, there is no change at all. Correct, right? When you see this code, there is no change. All the thing I was just trying to communicate, there are another methods, something like deselect all, select by index, select by value. Already we covered in the previous example was the same thing. See this? It selected March and April at a time. So now based on your use case, you can put a logic. Okay. Now this was about multi-select, and now we'll try to cover something like a web table and a dynamic web table. So this is very tricky in nature, and if you take any of the application, this is very common. Like how to automate a web table, it's really a challenge actually. So we'll try to analyze how to automate a web table or a dynamic web table. I'll give the worst code and the best code. First, we'll see the worst code. Okay. So
for multi-selection, that's the only the same like the earlier, right? There is no change. You are done with multi-selection.
Yes, multi-selection is same as what we discussed in the earlier session. It's simple. We are done with that.
Okay, it's like the same.
That's what.
It's same like okay. It's not the Dropbox. It is basically
yes, it's same as a Dropbox. It's same as a Dropbox. I mean the drop-down box. Yes, it's same as drop-down box.
Okay.
Okay, fine. Then we cover web table and dynamic web table. So when I say web table, what could be this? In general, in the automation world, they call it a web table. So it's nothing but kind of an Excel. So I think I covered, TRTDs, right? I mean, we tried to cover that in the previous session somewhere while locating strategy or somewhere. You understand TR, row, and TD. Better I'll go to live example, then probably can easily relate. I have very good example. If you go to this site, right, there's a ESPN Quick Info. It's very good example. ESPN Quick Info. I have a match, a simple example like South Africa versus Pakistan, and you can see a lot of data within the table. It look like kind of Excel table. It's kind of a table. It's called as a web table. That's it. When I say table, nothing but it has typically rows and columns, and each row is a cell, and each cell it has a data. Let's see, like this is the one row that has the batsman name, and the runs, the match, the balls, the number of balls, the strike rate. So each and everything is sitting in a block. It's kind of a web table, and now our challenge is to automate any of the use cases within this web table. So I'll take one problem now. Now I'll ask you to automate to check whether the score is 253 or not. Okay. To do that, manual test case, what generally we'll do, I'll open up calculator. I'll say 24 plus 20. Correct, right? In general, if it's I'll say 24 plus 20, so plus something like 37. So I'll keep on going until we go to the last row, that is 10, and I'll check whether it is equal to 253 or not. That's fine. That is a manual case. Now, how do you automate this now? I want to automate this. I want to automate the script in such a way that I can run this case for any kind of a match. Let's say now tomorrow India and Pakistan there's a match, and I don't know the scores, correct, right? Until they finish the match, I'll get some scores like 0, 1, 2, 3, 50, 100, something like that. But if you run the same code, still you should get a total. Automatically it has to get a total. Because for me, the table is fixed. Like this template, right? This is fixed. This is fixed. Only thing, the inside data is dynamically changing according to the run, according to the match, according to the match score match, keep on changing. Now, how do you automate this? Do you have any idea? Like, do you have any suggestions or any clue you are getting it?
Yeah, maybe by using some SQL statement or something like that, or
what is it by using?
SQL statements.
SQL.
So we can use like the
No.
something. Okay.
No, I can't use it. There is no inbuilt sum or nothing. See, the only challenge here is how do you traverse to the particular point. When I say point, 24, next row, next data should be 20, it has to be 20, 37, 50, 30. So it has to jump to the each row one by one. But your column is fixed. Column in sense this column R. The R column is fixed.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
now let us analyze. Let us analyze this. When I say analyze, let us try to. I know this is a web table. When I say web table, it's purely a row. This is a kind of this is a row, and these are all column, different columns. I know this very well. So you want to figure it out. Really, is a row or a column? Just say double click. Select this 24. Just bold this and say right click, and inspect element with fiber. Okay. Now, can you see this? Whenever I see TRTD is nothing but is a row column. Can you see 24 over here? And this 24 is highlighted there, and 96 is highlighted. Means 96 is in a next column. 59 is the next column. So I am least bothered about the columns now. My only problem is I need to go to each and every row and pick the value. Let's say 20. Let's see where 20 is sitting. Again, right click. I'll say inspect elements with fiber. See this? This is 20. It's taking me somewhere. Okay. Now let us copy the X path. We'll see. We'll try to analyze the X path. What is the X path? So just right click, copy X path, and okay. Now I'll go back here and I'll say double click. I'll select 20. Inspect elements with fiber. And say right click, copy X path, and again I'll paste it over here. Okay. If you observe very closely, right, there is only one change. Let me do another copy so probably you'll understand this. Again, I'll say right click, copy X path, and paste it over here. Sorry. Now, any difference you see in this X path? There is only one difference.
Yes.
This one, right? Correct? Okay. Now what I can do, I can divide this guy. I'll tell you what I'm trying to do here. See, I know the column is fixed, but row is changing. But what is the row change difference in there? 3. This is what?
5
and 7. Correct, right? So I'll try to divide this guy. I'll try to divide in such a way that this 3 will become I. Correct, right?
Okay.
And I always, I should start with what? 1 or 3?
3.
3, correct. I know the third row. First row, second row, I'm least further because I don't see any data. But my data is sitting in 24 in the third row. So I'll say I is equal to 3, I less than or equal to. I can do the count over here. When I say count is something, let's say 10, right? Till 10, I want to reach, and I'll say right click, copy X path, and you paste it, right? What is this row? Means till 25th row, I need to traverse. Yeah, I need to traverse. So I'll say less than equal to 25. Then here my code should be what? I is equal to I plus 1 or I plus 2?
I plus 2.
Yes. Why? Because I is 3. When I say 3 plus 1, it will become 4. but actually if you look very closely, but fourth row is something else. I don't want to get the details of it, and then I say I plus simple. See, you are able to tell the logic. Good. So you are able to get the logic very easily. That's what once you understand a particular problem or it is how it is XPath is just time behave, right? We can easily come up with our own logic actually. So I know I don't need this now. I don't need code at all. I'll just remove. So I'll write a code in such a way that for one single row I'll write and I'm going to traverse through a for loop. Now this will become me a for loop now. So once I am inside this, right, so I will become like this. Instead of tr3, I'll just delete this. Now I will become like this, and now I'll say dot get text. That's it. Get text is the method, inbuilt method. When I say get text, what happens? Generally, you will get 24 here. It will store somewhere. So for that, I need to store it in a string. I'll say string my score something like this is equal to something. I mean, this is XPath basically. So my score will be now 24. But there is one catch over here. So this is string, correct, right? But actually, what value you're getting is not a string, is a numeric. Okay, I'll come to that later, numeric part. So once the get test is done, now my question is, I mean, we need to add this. Now next time you want to run a loop, let's say the loop ends over here and it's again starts and this is my for loop. Now first time it went and my score became 24, correct? Next time if you run I is equal to I plus 2, it will come back here. XPath will take till row I plus 2 is what 3 plus 2 is 5. Fifth row and the value is 20, correct? Now it has to add 24 plus 20. Again 20 plus what is the next row? 37. Next 50. It has to add, keep on add and store it in some variable. I will call this as something like total is equal to, okay, total plus my score. I'll delete everything for you. Now what happens? Total initially will be a 0 first. First time total is 0, right? Because we didn't count anything. Now what happens here? 0 plus 24. Now total has become 24, correct? Second time it runs. Now it will become 24. This one total is now 24. Right? 24 plus what is the score? 20. This will pick up the XPath, right? Now it will become 20. Now it will be keep on adding like this. In the memory, it will be keep on adding like this. Now at the end of the loop, right, we will get a total. I'll just say sys out. I'll say total. That's it. It will print me the total.
Okay.
Okay. Let me run this so probably you will understand.
Why the first column starts with 3?
Why it will start with 3 is because now you select 24 and inspect elements by Firebug and say right click copy XPath and again if you go to here somewhere, this is how it is designed actually. In the third row your data is sitting, means we have another row here. Another row we have, right? So some data is sitting. Yeah, some data is sitting over here. I mean that's the header. This is the header. So we have a lot of other rows. And even in the same way you can ask like why it is the next row instead of 4, why it is going to the 5th position. If you observe this line of code right here, if I click on plus symbol, this guy is sitting in 3 plus 1. This is the 4th row. This is 3rd, 4th, this is 5th, 6th. If we calculate this right, it will become 25. So our interest is not, we are not interested in this. So we are going to skip this. Yeah, you're going to skip this. We don't want this. So that's the reason I has become each time it is sitting in a 5th row, not a 4th row. So once you understand this problem, right, then immediately you should think, okay, I cannot do I is equal to I plus 1. I should say I is equal to I plus 2 so that it will jump to the next row.
Okay, I now got it.
Okay. So I told, right, so I'm going to divide one X path. So whatever I declared here, I'll create it as a one X path, or you can directly we can include the code here. So what I'm trying to do, I'll cut this and make this as starting, and I'll cut this and make this as end, so that the code looks very clean actually. So if you observe this, right, this is one X path. Don't worry about this getting, don't get confused what is this HTML body div. Probably I might have copied this XPath from Chrome basically, not with the Firefox. Okay, and here TD4, and so observe TD4, no, see, this is same and everything remains same, T body, TR, everything remains. The only problem is I is getting dynamically changed. I know that I should start with I is equal to 3, I less than is equal to 25, and I say I is equal to I plus 2. Then I'm going to store something like now what is XPath start plus I plus n? What is this? XPath start plus I plus end.
Like we got the XPath, starting XPath. Okay.
Yes, starting XPath. I know. You know, right? We divided this, right? Originally we got something. I'm going to divide and make the code very easy. So very easy in the sense I'll make this as I told, right? I'll call this as end. This is fixed. This is never going to change. This has start. This is never going to change. Correct, right? Only change is what? I. So I'll delete this. I'll declare this as a string. And once I'm inside the code, what I'll do, I'll say just start plus I. I know that I is coming from a for loop somewhere. Plus, I plus end. This is something like concatenating. This kind of a concat means I'm trying to get a different string and put it in the one single single string, something like that. Now code looks very easy. I mean it's very simple. Oh, start plus I plus end. What is the start? Starting of the X path. End is nothing but a end of the X path. You can call it the head and tail. Head and tail between something is getting changed. You just always increment that. You don't want to do this. What you can do directly like this. You can copy paste. Still this works. Only thing is I will keep on changing as explained. So there is no much difference between this and this, but only change is here the code looks very neat actually. I mean you can put it in a string, separate string, and when somebody looking at this one you can easily figure, oh, XPath start, what is this? Oh, this is XPath plus I is nothing but a 3. XPath end is nothing but a kind of a tail, and this is how the XPath end will look. Now if you say get text, what happens? You get the text and it will be stored in X. If I run this, right, it will just print 24. I mean all the values like 24 plus you don't add basically. It will try to display the value like 24, 20, 37, 50, everything it will display now. Yeah, see this? Correct, right? 24, 20, all the values you can see from here. Everything is printed. See till 10 it's printed. Now your logic is correct, means you are able to traverse to all the rows and you are able to get the data and print on the screen. This is a simple logic. Now we have another problem, means I need to add this. Basically I need to do a 24 plus 20 plus 37 to make sure the total is equal to a 253 or not. That problem we need to solve. But before going to that, so is this clear for you? Okay, fine. So the next problem I'm going to solve, how we are going to add this. Already we know the table, already we put the simple for loop, we are inside the for loop and we are able to get the data, but now only the left out part is into add, basically sum it. So how to do that? So I told already total is equal to total plus x is very simple. So total I make this as 0. First time 0 plus x. What is x? Just now we print on the screen, right? X is first time 24. 24 plus 0, obviously first is 24. But next time 20. X is 20. But what is the total? Now total is not 0 now. What is the previous value? 24, right? 24. Yes, yes. Now what is the x? X is current value. So previous value plus current value. So 20 plus 24 plus 20, 54. Now total is 54.
Okay.
Correct. So now we keep on looping this until we reach 25. Then you add it. But there is one problem over here. It will give an error. Total is equal to total plus x will give one error. Means the problem here is total is an integer, correct? Int is a data type, is an integer, correct? But here it is a string. Means we need to convert this guy, means string, to integer. Simple. Means we cannot add a string plus integer. Suppose string ABCD is there, then you got a value as 1, 2, 3. You cannot really add in the real world. You can concat. Concat is nothing but ABCD plus you add 1, 2, 3. Then it will become something like ABCD space 1, 2, 3. That is a different story. But you want to sum it up, right? Your ultimate goal is to add something. But the biggest problem now we are facing is total is a integer and x is a string. You cannot add. It's a type mismatch. You get an error as a type mismatch.
Yes.
Okay. Now solution for this is purely Java stuff. So we need to convert the string to an integer. So how to do that? So already built-in methods are there available within Java. We just convert say integer dot parse int and give the value. That is x. Means x is an I know the x is a string. When I say integer parse int is nothing but it's converting to an integer. Because your value is totally integer here, right? Not a string. But don't get confused. Okay, instead of string, why can't we declare a what is that integer over here? Then problem is solved. Here instead of string, if you declare integer x is equal to div.find element, then that will not work because you see this statement here. What is this? Get. Yeah. Yes. When I say get text, Selenium doesn't know what exact value it has, either integer or a float value, or it's kind of a string value or alphanumeric. It doesn't know. Whatever the data is there, it will get a text and it will always store in a string format. Now is your job is to convert the string to an integer depending upon the case. So in my case, this is the biggest problem now. In my case, I know that I'm going to add the sum, but I know the total is integer, and I also know that x is a string, and you cannot really add these two. So using integer parsing to convert this x, this string, to an integer, then problem is solved. See, now there is no errors. Now this program works like anything. Just one line I just change, that's it. Now we say sysout.println total. This should be outside the loop. Means once every your yeah.
I need to ask this question only. This the curly bracket, like it should be a curly bracket should be after the loop always, because yesterday also I was getting some errors. Then like 4 integers.
Yeah, you should be very careful in the curly bracket. So the example here something like, see, public. Do one thing, always go close to this curly bracket, right, and say double click, and it will show the whole block. Say for example, when I say whole block, let's say for this I am trying to do. Okay, when I say double click next to the block, and it will block the line of code, something like that. Mean this is only valid till here. This is one block. When I say double click like this, say this. This is another block. So you have to make sure that you open and close properly. Suppose if I say I open trycat and I didn't close this. Sorry, I didn't close this. Now what happens is going to expect it's expecting one more curly bracket over here, but it is not there. So what we should do is we need to add one extra, not extra, basically the expected one somewhere here to make sure that it properly your code is fitted into a particular block of code. Otherwise, it will throw an error.
Okay, it means like in one single window we can run as many as programs if they, like that these brackets are like closed properly. So we can start the other program in the same window, right?
See, this is one window. I can write only one program, but probably the lines of code or the logic might be different. So when you look at this code, it's something different. So the only idea is to otherwise I need to give some basic example. So if you understand a method or a functions, right? Generally we write it in Java. So it's always should be in a block. When I say whenever I create a new class, right? I say test Java something. It should be public static void main. Then say finish. See, observe this template now. So what is this bracket and what is this? See, this is a starting and this is ending. But between this starting ending, I have a lot of other code or other methods or other main method that has again its own curly bracket start and end. So this is always a start and end. But inside this, if you start writing the code, it depends. So it will not force you to write always a bracket like this and do this. It all depends. So where and all this will get applicable is in while loops, correct? In for loop, yeah, wherever this syntax, this bracket syntax will be applied for only while loop, for loop, or if condition. Okay, so for example, if you say how it is applied in for loop, and I say bracket, right? See, I didn't close basically. I didn't enter this. You can observe once again. So when I say for loop, I just for loop I wrote, and I know this is not a complete for loop. I'm going to solve this now. And I say bracket like this one bracket, and I say enter. Automatically, see this line got introduced. It knows that you're writing a loop as a condition, and it also knows that there is a starting and there is an ending point for this for loop. Correct, but inside you can write a logic. Now you can say int I is equal to 1 and probably I less than 10 and I plus plus. See, now there is no error. See, there is no error now. Okay, now I say sys out and control space. I just say I. See, now also there is no error. But now if I right click and run as program, so what is the output? It's very simple. I start with 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Or if you say I less than equal to 10, your output should be
10.
Till 10. Till 10, yeah, till 10. You see the console and this out. So in the same way, see, this is done now. This is done. After this, I can write another, another for loop. This can happen. I can another for loop, or sometimes what happens within this, I can write one more for loop.
Yeah,
when I say bracket like this, when I bracket like this and say enter, you see here, see this bracket. This is for this for loop, and this is for this for loop, and this one is for this program, the starting main method, and this guy is for end.
For every statement.
So while programming, yes, every statement or condition basically, yeah, statement or condition. This is how it works. But while programming, you should be very careful what kind of logic you are putting where into close and open. That maybe once you practice this, right, it will come up easily. Okay, this you got it, right?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, fine.
Because I was facing this problem.
Yeah, this happens. Initially, even I also miss out while doing the program, right? So a lot of copy paste will do, right? So this happens. Okay. So now I was telling you like
all these programs like while Selenium testing we need to do all these programs by ourselves, or if there should be some program we just need to run or something like that.
Where you're asking? Program?
Like when we use Selenium like in a like on a live scenario. So
live project you're asking, okay?
Yeah. So always we need to run these kind of programs, or there should be somebody like should be some program should be there, or we just need to run it.
Okay, good question actually. So this happens in a two-way. Two different categories are there. Say for example, I'm an automation expert, and I will make a ready-made framework or something like this, and it's everything is built well. All you need to do is just use it. When I say use it, I will train you how to use Selenium, not to code. So coding in Selenium is different. I mean, using Selenium Java is different, and using already written code is different. Two are very different in nature.
Yeah,
so when
yeah,
you start using this, then you will not become Selenium expert. When you start writing your own Selenium script, then you will become a Selenium expert. It's very simple logic. You take anything in this world, it's like that.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's kind of a ready-made. You go to a shop, retail shop, and get a, some kind of a 2 minutes noodle and all. You go there, you pick it, and whatever they say, open vessel, put a one glass of water, then put a noodle, then wait for 2 minutes, then add some more masala to that. Then your noodles is ready. Means you are just trying to use it, but you never prepare a noodle by yourself. You want to do that, then you should be a Selenium Java expert. But while looking for a job, there is no guarantee that you will get a chance to work on Selenium or Java, or somebody already developed a framework. You use it. It can be anything.
Yeah, I got it.
It can be anything. So most of the companies, even now also, we do like this. There are a lot of frameworks. I'll hire a guy, give him the training, the basic training. He uses our framework and just try to automate it. But he's not a Selenium expert. But he says, "Oh, I'm working in Selenium part from 2 years." But basically, they won't write a single line of code. I mean, probably they'll write the very minimal things, not the heavyweight code. They or a heavy logic. They won't do that. So all the things we will do it. We'll write a functions. They just use it. That's it.
Got it.
That's how in real anything can happen. But you should know. Ultimately, you should know everything so that life will be very easy.
If I know, then only I can run. If it
Correct. Exactly. Yeah. You can survival. Survival is very easy then. So in the outside also, if you say I never developed any Selenium, but I use Selenium, don't say the statements. So just always say I'm good at these things, I'm bad at these things, I know I'm confident on these things, I can code, I know how to automate this, you have done a project, you automated find a test case, everything. You can do that. Okay. So this is how we, for a given problem, what was our problem? Actually, yeah, this one row column will identify for each row and do a summation. There is one problem we faced because this is a integer while we get a text, it's stored in a string. We need to convert that string to a parse, integer, and parse it and just print on the screen. That's it. This is done. This is done.
Okay. Now we need to run it. Will show the total value.
Yeah, output exactly. Yeah, we'll do that. But wherever you go, like tomorrow I'll give another application. I'll give another scenario. Your logic will be same, or more or less logic will be same. So once you analyze the XPath, then you'll get an idea how really it's developed. Based on that, you put a logic. Very simple. So there, the approach or a strategy will be same. Maybe here and there, you need to change the code. Again, it depends. Oh, you got it?
Yeah.
Output 253. This means this 253 we calculated. I mean, using some programming logic, it just calculated in the same way. If I go to the screen, sorry, where is that here? Here, I need to get the text of this. I mean, again, I need to get the XPath of this manually and say get a text and start comparing. Put a simple if condition. If this 253 is equal to this 253, then this case is pass, else fail. That's it. Now same program. Now if I go back and select let's say South Africa versus Pakistan. Right now, if you select India versus Pakistan somewhere, but your code remains same. But expected, of course, it will change. You need to change the expected things always.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Correct, right? I manually calculated. I know what I'm expecting. I know what is 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. It cannot, but how the program has written, how the application is behaving. It's just giving 1 plus 1 is equal to 0 or 1 plus 1 is equal to 3. That means figure it out, right? So that we'll fetch it and again compare. The program works pretty well. So you don't have to change not even a single line of code.
Okay.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So get a XPath of 253 and okay, I think once again I'm trying to analyze. Okay. Okay, this was a different problem. So before going to that, this is clear, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So all you need to do is go to ESPN Quick Info and select any kind of a match and try to understand how the XPath, I mean, where the exact data is sitting inside the TRTDs and try to analyze things and just practice it a couple of times. You will get it.
Mm-hmm. Sure. I just want, the string XPath start and string XPath end. So this
Okay.
this one is the Caesar. You just take the XPath, right? And you just
Yes. Yes.
you just convert it into start and end, right?
Yes. I given my own name. I know that the XPath always start like this, and end is
Yeah.
nothing but a kind of a tile, But I know in between what is the in between value. That is very important. Why I'm doing this, because this is start, this is end. I know in between what is that, a row. TR here. If you see this, right, TR,
Yes.
and I given the bracket here, and I given the bracket, another bracket, open close bracket over here. So between this, this is end and this is start. Something is sitting. What is that?
Yes.
That is I.
Okay.
That is
I.
that's
Okay.
it.
That's
Yeah, if you get that logic, then it's very easy.
Mm-hmm. I got it.
Across my this one sessions, generally I follow this kind of flow. It's very easy to understand. But again, it's left to you. You don't want to use this start plus end. Either copy and put entire string over here, then you'll get confused. Suppose any change you want to do right tomorrow, you'll get confused. You'll do mistakes. In general, you'll do mistakes. So don't come to this code. You just go here and change. Change in the sense, let's say tomorrow developer added, no, they changed the ID. Instead of innings bat 1, they changed to innings bat 2. Then what you will do, you should go back here and change the code. Instead of that, it's very easy. You go back to start and just change this 1 to 2, save and just run. So code also looks good and even maintenance also pretty easy as well. But whatever you learn here now, up to a couple of sessions, this is good. But while developing a framework, we never keep XPaths in the program. We never keep XPaths or whatever the locator is. We call XPath or ID or name or CSS, all kind of locators. We never hard code in the program. What we'll do, we'll keep these guys outside the system, like outside the code. That's called as a object repositories. We'll do that. So that I can't teach now right away because that is implementation while developing a frameworks. But before that, all we need to understand, given case, how do you automate? That's it. It's very simple. So each session I'll go with a problem and the solution. Problem and the solution. That's it. Okay. Cool. Let me take another couple of minutes to complete this. What we are trying to do. Okay, I'll give another problem, like print all the data in the table. So the whole data you see here, right? GC Smith is the batsman name. This whole data, it has to print on the screen. That's it. How to do that? No, till now we were trying to do only one column, that is runs column, and n number of rows, and we did the summation, and it was fine. Now I have another problem. I need to display the whole template or whole table. What are the structure you see on the screen? and same thing should be displayed on my console. So for that I need to understand the full X paths over here. So again the same logic, probably I'll do a 2 for loops, that's it. Instead of 1 for loop, I'll do a 2 for loops. One is for a row and one is for a column. Okay, let's start with GSmith. I know I want to print GSmith, this some text or runs 96, everything on the screen. Now we say right click, inspect element by Firebug, and again right click, copy XPath and go to some document somewhere, paste it. I'm just doing a blind, the work over here. Again, say XPath, copy this and paste it over here. And again, let me do one thing. Let me go to the next column or the next row, basically. Okay, instead of that, I'll go here.
Yeah, first complete all the column.
I'll not get all the XPath. We should not do that. I am just trying to understand the the XPath, like how it is printing on my screen. So this is 5. Okay, and again, if you go to Amla, right click XPath, and I think it should be 7 this time. Yeah. Okay, if you, what is this TD3422? What is this TD? TD is column, right?
Column.
Column, correct. And this is row. Row you already know very well. Already we solved just now one problem. Like row always starts with 3 and increment with 2. And if you see the column is just incrementing with 1. It is not like 2. So now I can write a 2 for loop, 1 for a column, 1 for a row. And if I get a particular cell value, right, I can easily automate the things. So for that I'll say start plus mid plus end. For a given scenario, this is start. You got it? I need to break this guy and I need to break this guy. Just leave it. This is the link. Just leave it and to break this guy. Correct, right? Now instead of this is start, I know this is fixed always. I know this is I is always 3. Correct? You already solved this problem. And this is something like mid. Mid is fixed, and this is end. End also you need to increment with something like end. I'll say is equal to this, and here instead of that I need to, by the way, when in the mid I need to say I is equal to 2. Means this is for column and this is for row. That's it. So for a given XPath, I just divided in terms of head, tail, and mid, or something like start, end, or mid. I know in the between what exactly is getting changed, the I value is getting changed. So I can start I with 3 or whatever, and I can run the script. Generally, I'm calling this as row number or column number, something like this. You can give any name. Okay. Here I'll say start plus mid plus end, or something like start plus a row number. Correct. This way. Start plus row number, mid plus column number, then end. So this is fixed. This is fixed. This is fixed. Only thing is this is dynamically changing, and this is also dynamically changing. Means the next time it will become 5. Next time the column will be same. Something like this. Now see, this is very easy to get the text. When I say get text, what happens? First time it will go inside. It will get the text of GSmith. Second time it will not go to the row. It has to go to the column. You know this concept, right? When you say 2 for loops, you want to run this for loop, right? It has to complete the full set of execution here. Then this loop will go to this for loop. This is just Java, so nothing to do with your Selenium.
Okay.
Got it, right? When I say write 2 for loops, first the inside the for loop will complete all the execution. Means for a given row, it will jump to each column here and try to get the text. It's very simple. When I say get text, first time is GSmith, and it will not go to this for loop because this for loop is not ended, right? So next column is column plus b, that is third column. What is third column? Something is there, you get a text. What is fourth column? 24 runs, you just get a text. Once this is end, like what is end? SR is strike rate is end. Once this is completed, then this will go to outer for loop. This is inner for loop, this is outer for loop. Now this time what happens? It will not go to the same row. What is the row num plus 2? 3 plus 2. Means it will go to the next row. Next row is nothing but Peterson. You will get the data. This will get the data. This will all. It will be keep on puzzling between until it reaches the end of the row and end of the column. That's it. It will stop there. The loop will stop there. So all the values just prints on the screen. That's it. If I run this right, you see here, but it's not in this fashion. Maybe I need to give some space somewhere here. But if you observe this, GSmith, this is correct. This is correct. And what is the value? 24. 24 is correct here. 96 is correct. 2 is correct. 0 is correct. And 40.67. This is correct. See, this is one row and different column. Different column. Basically, one row is one row and different column. And in the same way, second row you see Ian Peterson, Mohammad Hafiz, and Zid Khan, and then 2091. See this 2091. Everything it will print on the screen. That's it. So we just try to cover how to analyze a web table with a different approach. I mean, one to just print all the web table data on the screen, and another problem what we tried to get a sum, and that is a total of runs, whether it is 253 or not. That's it. Got it right? Okay. So this is very like where it will be useful. The next question is where it is very useful in our. Suppose you have a product and you search something and you got a data on the grid. This is kind of a grid. They call it a grid, or data sitting in a web table. Then somebody asks you to, okay, can you verify this web table and get the data and print on the screen, or there'll be something like a mathematical calculation sometimes. So can you do that? Yes. Now the logic is in front of you. The logic is same. The approach is same. But the only thing is the XPath obviously will differ because each application is totally different, right? So they will write their own kind of XPaths. I mean the table structure. Just analyze that. Based on that, you put a logic. The problem is solved.
Okay.
Okay. This is kind of one solution. But tomorrow I'll teach you another very dynamic solution that will work for any kind of web application in anything. That is a very advanced logic. In intro also we'll ask this kind of question. I have a table and printed. Obviously most of the people what they do the same way. What we just tried, right? Same way they will do. I'll ask them how to do it a dynamic. I need a dynamic code, or very dynamic code in the sense I'll take your code, and if I want to use in my product also somewhere, it has to work without changing any XPath or row or a column. So that we'll try to see tomorrow. That's very simple solution. Within 10 minutes or 15 minutes probably I can complete. It's very simple solution. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine then. So I'll share this program. You can just practice it and get in touch. You sent a link probably, right? So I'll share that everything.